just as much as wanting really good sex, we as women also want really good emotional intimacy and intimacy outside of the bedroom that is just as important and is required for us to open up. And it's a level of, I'll say, you'll find the best version of your woman when she feels safe with you.
Mm-hmm.
She will be flirty. She will be fun. She will be sexual. She'll be loose and be able to feel safe enough to let her guard down, where she can access parts of herself that she cannot access when she does not feel safe with you.
Do you want to know that one thing that men just don't know about women, yet our wives are dying for us to know? Well, today we're going to talk about just that. You know, we always joke around about how complicated women are, so we're going right to the source. I asked my beautiful wife, Erin, to come in here, and she's actually talked to some of her clients, wives just like yours, about this very subject, and that's what we're going to explore. And here's the hint, it's more than one, but that's what we'll explore today on the TPM show. Babe, thanks for being here.
Hey, babe. Let's see. I would say one of the top things that I hear over and over and over, and also as a woman myself and with girlfriends and clients, is that we actually want really good sex.
Okay, tell me more.
Yes. There is many layers to that, but we want good sex where there's deep emotional connection that allows for different types of pleasure to happen, different styles of sex, but we want good sex and for the men to know what they're doing. And if they do not have the confidence or skill set to learn it, be open to some feedback, but also be responsible for learning how to please her. And I will tell you, the one place that you will not be learning is porn. If you replicate almost 99.9% in porn, it does not feel good. That is for show. I know men and all of us know that cognitively, but trust me, a lot of those skills are tried and they do not feel good. So knowing some actual skill and putting some effort into that is, women want that. And I'm going to iterate, good, pleasurable sex for everybody involved is we actually deeply, deeply crave that.
No doubt. And so I know this morning we've converted our garage into a workout center for you and your girlfriends to work out 3 times a week. And we were talking about this morning. Was that the consensus when you asked all of them the same question?
Yes, that was one of the hot first topics and first answers, is like, it's wanting you guys to lead, honestly, and just also have the skill set and the openness to learn if things don't feel great, or it's certain moods or certain times of the month, and understanding how that affects a woman and her sexuality and sensuality, and different types of sex are deeply desired during different times of the month. I teach that a lot to my clients, and it just is, we feel different at different phases. That was a very big first answer.
Oh, I bet. Well, it's funny because, you know, I hear this so often. I tell the guys, a lot of guys will say, well, my wife's just not interested in sex. Right? So I know what my response is because I've given it a lot, but what would your response be to a guy that's like, yeah, my wife's just not interested in sex?
No, she actually really is. Lots of reasons, but just as much as wanting really good sex, we as women also want really good emotional intimacy and intimacy outside of the bedroom that is just as important and is required for us to open up. And it's a level of, I'll say, you'll find the best version of your woman when she feels safe with you. She will be flirty. She will be fun. She will be sexual. She'll be loose and be able to feel safe enough to let her guard down, where she can access parts of herself that she cannot access when she does not feel safe with you. And those parts are very fun for her and very fun for you. From just like the feeling of her feeling light to her is one of the biggest gifts that you can give her. Because if she's constantly having to feel on some level, subconsciously, consciously, she's having to protect herself or be the one that holds it all together or be the one that's responsible or be the one that is constantly monitoring the emotional energy of the relationship, that puts her in a masculine, and it's puts her in a very responsible mode, and it's not safe. Doesn't feel safe when she has the experience where she is the one that is constantly, planning the date nights, getting the babysitter, checking in, being the one to bring up the hard conversations. That is like if you're avoiding conflict, or which will happen in every single relationship, or if she feels like she's the one that's constantly managing that entire emotional body of a relationship between you two, she will lose respect and attraction for you big time.
Do you see that happening in some of the clients you're working with or with friends?
Yes. Yes. And it's not like, it takes two to tango. And I'm just saying, like, this is from a woman's side. Like, it's really, really attractive when you as a man step up and be like, hey, I know we've been disconnected lately. Like, I've planned this for us. Hey, I know we have this thing that we're trying to work through. Like, let's sit down and talk about it. And like ignoring it, trying to keep the peace, walking on eggshells, all those things, trying to be the nice guy by not hurting her feelings. That's super unattractive, and it's very, very unsafe for her because she's like, where's your backbone? Like, you are not valuing our relationship enough to come to me and step up and like actually talk about it. Like, avoiding it is actually extremely unsexy.
100%.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a guy who's hearing this, because I can imagine a lot of these guys, since I talked to hundreds and hundreds of them, they're thinking, well, my wife's not interested in sex. We're in a sexless marriage.
Yeah.
It's just in that season. Where do I start?
First of all, just acknowledging, like, that's really hard.
Yep.
Everybody's hurting when that's happening. And it's hard on both of you, probably in different ways.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Acknowledging it. It sounds so simple, but just acknowledging the fact that, like, hey, we have been in a sexless season. I know that you're hurting, and as much as I am, and no blame. Like, it's not her fault. It's not your fault. It took two to create that dynamic, and it's going to take two to get out of it. And it's going to take responsibility and doing things different than you did to create it. And just acknowledging like that type of conversation with no blame and judgment of being like, you don't do this or you don't do that. That's not going to work, obviously. And then just being really intentional. I will say with everything, men too, but definitely women, everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is energy. So if you're coming to her with that conversation and it's genuine and it's grounded and it's loving and it's like, hey, I really actually miss you. I miss us. I miss having that type of connection with you. That will melt her and hit her in a way very differently than if you're coming from a needy place. Like, oh my gosh, we're never having sex. Like, this is like awful. Like, I'm the only one that, we're only having sex with each other. And we're not even doing that. That's obviously not going to land very well. So it's just like being really responsible for your energy and being really clear on what you actually want and owning that, but with love and with love.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing I see guys that come out of the Alpha Reset, which is the 4-day transformational experience we do here at the TPM Ranch, and we do it in the UK, is they get that energetic shift. And so one guy even talked about it, and I won't say his name, but he came home after the Alpha Reset and he stood behind his wife, so at a good distance. And she all of a sudden, he opened his heart and she all of a sudden just turned around and felt him immediately in that presence. And we had several guys mention something very similar. One guy was actually said he was talking on a phone to a friend who happened to be a woman. And she goes, I can tell something's changed. Your energy's different.
Yeah, we relate in energy and feeling. It's just our language. It's so easy for us. So when you guys are coming from a place of blame or insecurity or neediness, not that we're insecure too, but like in coming with that energy, even if your words are saying something different, it's just doesn't, we've got our spidey senses up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. And so something we talk about a lot on this show, we talk a lot to the men, and you brought it up, is when a guy says, hey, my wife's not interested in sex. The truth is she's just not interested in sex with him. Well,
Yeah. And it's hard to hear. And in some way he might not be with her either, but it's, I guess, to like remove some of the ouch of that. She's not interested in sex with you because of the dynamic and the way that the energy between you two.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Another thing I'll bring up to the guys, if she's not interested in going into the bedroom, one thing you could do is try to make the bedroom more fun, right? Make it a more enjoyable experience, a more fun experience versus, a boring or a crappy one. That seems to hit home with a lot of the guys. A lot of the guys kind of have that aha moment when I talk to him about that and trying to make the situation, just make it more enjoyable, right? Because I mean, who wants to go do anything that's not enjoyable, right? Versus you have some fun in the bedroom, you know, you have connection, you have great sex, everybody feels good. I mean, you and I are always more connected.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Everything's better. Yep.
Everything's better. The house is better. The skies are blue again.
Yeah,
yeah. And so in bringing that dynamic back in, because it's so taboo in our culture to talk about sex openly. You know, people just don't do it. There's a few things people don't talk about, yet we're all here because somebody else had sex, our parents. But yet it's interesting. It's funny because when I asked you this question this morning, I thought you were going to come back with the number one thing is around safety, not sex, which is awesome, right? Because I'm learning something too. And I know that you polled those ladies in the morning too, which is also fun to see. If you were to guesstimate, and I know you represent all women all around the world. Now, if you were to guesstimate, let's just use the US, Canada, Western society, you know, UK, Europe. How many women, what percentage out of 10, how many women would you say are satisfied sexually?
Do you want me to answer honestly? Not many.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I'm not blaming all men. I just want to be very clear about that.
Well, some women have sexual hangups too, right? Just from cultural or
yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so many
trauma.
Things. This is such a big question.
It is.
From a very blanket statement, I think everybody knows that our bodies work very differently as far as the time that it takes to get aroused and to feel good. I will say that a lot of time, women aren't given enough time and attention to get to a place where the level of pleasure increases tenfold with more time and attention, and actually having a partner that actually wants to do that, not just doing it to do it. Again, everything's energy. And having the skill set, and if not having the skill set, taking time to learn the skill set.
Hey guys, I just want to share something with you. I'm sure we can both agree that in order to fix something, you need to know what's broken. And not only need to know what's broken, but a step-by-step methodology on how you can fix it. That's the easiest way to do it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be toiling with things. That's why I created a free training, a training that not only shows you how you got to where you are, where your relationship is missing that love, respect, admiration, and even intimacy that it used to have, to how you get it back. How do you retain that where your wife's looking at you the same way she used to look at you when she said, I do? You know, I don't know about you, but for me, when my wife looks at me like I'm her man, that I feel like I can conquer the world. And I want that for you. Simply go over to thepowerfulman.com/scales. That's thepowerfulman.com/scales. And I have a free video training for you. You can just click play and see if this resonates for you. Now back to the podcast.
Not every time that's going to happen because, you know, quickies have a time and place.
Yeah.
But I talk to a lot of women and have a lot of girlfriends, and women are ready for an upgrade in their sexual lives and really honestly want to be with their partners deep down.
Yeah.
They really want to be with their man. They really want it to be them. It's not that they're seeking outside of the relationship. It's just, yeah, women are craving more pleasure.
Yeah, and I think most men would like to be the ones giving it to them.
Yeah,
you know,
I think so too.
So the disconnect, I think, comes in the communication, expectations, and stories, right? I think that's where a lot of it comes in: the communication between two partners, the stories, the expectations. You know, women are the same way, right? If their man doesn't orgasm themselves, they feel like, what did I do wrong?
Yes,
right?
We take it personally,
Completely personally. And men can too,
Yeah.
right? What am I? I'm supposed to sex is one of those things that we think we're just supposed to know. Everybody just knows how to do this thing, right?
Yeah.
I know when I started studying and taking courses and things like that, it was super eye-opening.
Yeah.
I did, for the Brotherhood, I put together a sexual mastery class. All the guys came into that thinking it was all going to be about moves and techniques, and 90% of it was about energy, right? And getting your energetic self right, which, you know, frankly, turned off some of the guys because they were expecting skill. Yeah. Like, you know, the secret move that you could do. Right. But other guys were like, holy cow, this made a huge difference because
she feels safe.
She feels safe. She feels connected.
Seen.
Yeah.
Wanted, desired.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll often say also, and I have another question for you, that women need connection to want to have sex, and men need sex to get connection. It's not all the time. That's kind of an interesting thing. So somebody has to take the first step in one direction or the other. And let me guess, who would you like to take the first step?
Well, here's the thing. They're both important.
Yep.
One's not higher than the other.
Yeah.
But a woman's not really interested in sex unless she feels emotionally connected to you. She just isn't.
For
Can
sure.
she do it? Yeah. Is it as pleasurable or as good or as mind-blowing? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you were to, for a guy listening to this right now who's going, okay, well, I kind of have sex, with my wife, and I think it's kind of good. What would you recommend? How does he start? How does he start on this exploration from a female's perspective? Again, you're representing all women, or just the 4 women that were in my garage this morning, talking to their husbands. What would you recommend he start with?
Okay. I'm going to answer that question. I just want to say one other thing that ties in a lot that I hear over and over and over and over again. And I also experience myself. And it's not sexy, but facing it and knowing this, you get the sexier version of your wife. And I know you guys have your own version of it, but the mental load that women hold, our brains are diffused, constantly noticing all the things that need to be done, all the things that aren't done, doing one thing while thinking about 14 other things. I mean, just is. Like, trust me, we wish we could focus on one thing. That would be so nice. That is exceptionally exhausting for us and consuming. So I hear this time and time again is like, we're making dinner or we're cleaning or getting stuff organized for the next 3 days, that this person needs this to make this in their life happen for everybody. If you walk into the room or the kitchen and it's just like, oh, how can I help? Is literally the least helpful thing you could ever say. And the experience is just honestly quite repulsive. And that's where I hear from women all the time that it's like, I feel like I have another child in my husband. Because it's like, you're the other adult that lives in this house, that created these children. If you have children, that created this entire system here. If you can't walk in and contribute, and I have to tell you what to do, like one of the children, set them up, here, please clean these pile of mess that you made. Please empty the dishwasher and lead them and be in charge. If she has to do that with you, it's extreme turnoff. And if over and over and over and over again, and she just kind of gives up, that is where a lot of disconnection and not feeling respect towards our men and sexual desire. Because it's like she has, in her experience, it's like she's managing everything on her own. And so just a key there, it's like notice what needs to be done and do it. And do it from all the way from A to Z. Do not leave her 4 dishes that you just got annoyed and don't want to finish. Because then that also is the experience of like, oh my gosh, I can't count on you to finish anything. So it's like, these things are not sexy, but if you want to be able to access the sexiest part of your woman where she can then relax, because she needs to be able to relax and be in her parasympathetic to get to her sexual energy. So anything that you can do to connect with her, to relieve stress, to give her time and space to connect to herself, to get into her parasympathetic, which is like the opposite of your stress situation, you're going to get a different version of her. So know your woman, know how to do that. Does she need to go on a walk after dinner and you do the cleanup? Does she give her space to not be on, and she will be able to connect to herself, which then she'll be able to connect to her sexual energy. That is the key. So it's going to look different for every season of little kids or teenagers or no kids or big jobs or no jobs, but knowing how to help her relax and connect to herself is one of the biggest things you can provide.
Yeah. And so I know a lot of guys out there are going to be thinking, well, gee, I'm working all day. I'm slaving away. Her job is to take care of the home. And I know when you and I were going through our really hard times, I remember getting resentful at times of you, of like, well, why do I have to do the dishes? I've been working, 8-10 hours in a day. You're sitting on the couch eating bonbons all day.
I was going to say, so has she.
But I mean, this is the story. And one of the things that helped me out and I'm saying this for the men, not for you. One of the things that helped me out is I was like, all right, if Erin and I don't work out, we don't make it through this storm, I'm going to be doing this shit myself anyway. So why don't I just do it now? Right? I'm going to be working, and I'm going to have a lot more to do on the home front. So what? And that helped me. That helped me with the better of a justification of like, okay, cool, I can do this stuff. I can help out here. I can do this. It wasn't even more helping out. It was just, I'll just get this stuff done. That, and again, that helped me with the justification part, where it allowed me to make that mental bridge between, I guess, being critical of you and critical of that, like, why do I have to do this type of thing? That helped me make the leap. Because I know a lot of men that are listening to this, them and their partners have traditional marriages like you and I do, a little bit more traditional. And that's a criticism a lot of them have. And so anyway, hope that helps them out there to make that leap. It's not the most positive one, but it's a beginning start.
Okay.
And now I just look at it more as a partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Yep.
And it's just also another thing is like, from a woman's perspective, like, yes, you guys are working hard, and a lot of women work outside the home too, or do the part-time thing like I do, and also primary parent. I mean, it's just nonstop. If you have kids, it's just nonstop. It just is. And it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's literally the best thing ever. If whoever is like the primary parent and primary caregiver of the home, there's never off. That's the other thing you might want to take a look. Like sometimes I know business, you run yourself, like you can technically stop your emails and you can take some time off, but you're always thinking. But home life, it never ends. Like laundry is never done. No, eating and feeding a family is never done. Like it's just like, so having like just open perspectives from both sides and realizing like, hey, we're doing this life together. I want this to feel good for her, for me, for our kids, and like demonstrating, allowing people to be their best selves. I think is one of the best gifts you can give to your kids. And, at different stages, it's like reevaluating it. Like you couldn't breastfeed. I could.
I tried.
Yeah, so it's like looked very different. And I was doing so much more heavy lifting as far as the children at that point. But you could not contribute. Our kids did not take bottles. So it's like, it's just different. And I know you're ready to say a joke right now. I can see your face.
I put vinegar in the bottle.
No,
that was tough for us. That was a tough period. And I agree with you. And I would counter that businessmen don't turn off either. But that it's, to me, what's worked out for our marriage is looking at it more of a partnership. And there's sometimes you leave dishes in the sink and there's sometimes you don't. And we ebb and flow with what we want to be done in the kitchen or what we want. Like there's sometimes you're like, I can't stand this. It's disorganized. And you go and you clean and you want everything organized.
Yes.
And there's sometimes that you make it a mess and I want it organized. And we all go through our seasons. And I think what you and I have done really well is not coming from a place of resentment and trying to laugh about it and, look at it just differently. Because I think people forget that your spouse is different. Their level of cleanliness might be different. Their level of what they tolerate are different. And you come to some sort of consensus of what works. Like last night, I made the steak. We both helped out with the kids and kind of getting things going. You made corn. You made the rest of the meal for us. And we had a great time. We talked about this morning. Yeah. Great time as a family in the kitchen, laughing, talking, and had fun. Yeah, it was a great time. And that's possible. When you're in the mix of the crap, you don't see that. Yeah. But what I do want to get back to is that one thing. So going back to what's that one thing that women want their men to know is let's make sex fun. And women, wives, want their men to, in most cases, take the leadership role around that. Hey, educate yourself on how to pleasure a woman, what the female anatomy is, how it's done, what to do. And guys, you can follow. There are female influencers that I follow on social media, and that's what they talk about for men. And one I also do is there's a woman I follow on TikTok, I think. What she does is teaches women to be lesbians, like for lesbians. But the comments are like a lot of guys like, holy shit, this is great. And that's me. I'm watching it. Like she's like, oh, how to pleasure, if you're new to the lesbian lifestyle, here's what you can do to pleasure your partner. And I'm like, well, geez, it's the same anatomy as my wife. I'm just a hairy lesbian. And so there are things you can do like that.
Oh God.
I don't care. People can cancel you or whatever they do these days. But there's things you can do to follow those people and influencers. There's books. There's tons of education that's out there. It's really no excuse other than not making a priority. And then you can also ask your partner, right?
Yep.
So you and I will have open conversations. It's not like we talk about it all the time, but we'll talk about, hey, what do you like? Okay, what do you like? And we'll do that. And we'll do it in the bedroom, out of the bedroom to go that far. But guys can actually step in and get educated. Your women want you to get educated. Make the bedroom fun again. And this all starts with a foundation that she has to feel safe first.
Yes.
She has to feel safe. She has to feel seen and heard. And that's the basis. Awesome. Thanks so much for bringing this to the men and to the world.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank your girlfriends and your clients for sharing it with us as well. And maybe what I could do is forward this on to all the husbands that I know. Just so you guys know, this is the conversation happening in my garage. We can let them know. But honestly, thank you for all that you do for the men in the movement and just for being and all you do for our kids and me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Gentlemen, as I often say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. And look, everybody likes having sex, but nobody likes vanilla sex, right? It's boring. It's just not worth it. And I talk to guys all the time that tell me, well, yeah, my wife does it out of obligation, or the bedroom's just, we have sex once a month, or it's very few and far between, and they'd like to have more intimacy. Well, it starts with that baseline of safety, then making your wife feel seen and heard. So if you, in our program, the activation method, we have a thing we call the triad of connection. And I'm not going to go through that right now, but that is your foundation, boys. You need that. And then take leadership, right? Educate yourself, talk to your wife, have these conversations. If you're not in a place where you can have these conversations because you're either A, embarrassed, or B, you guys are fighting, then just go educate yourself. You've learned so many skills in life. Why not learn this one and make it better? It's not something that we're taught. So let's get rid of all the voices in our heads that tell us, we can't do this. Boys, we can. I'm always on a path of growing, always on a path of learning. I know there's a lot more that I can learn, and I'm committed to doing so. So join me on that. Gentlemen, anything I can do for you as always, let me know, and we'll see you next time on the TPM show.